Hey gang, the custodians are working on the air conditioning in the closet next to my room, so if you hear noises, that's what it is, sorry. Um, when we get to the end of a unit, I like to revisit the three question sheet and add some additional information to turn it into a really strong study guide. So you'll have a copy of this completed version in Canvas, but I want to kind of go over what my thinking is here. I would add this at the top: Mashiach ben David equals the Messiah. Messiah is a Greek word, or I guess it's an anglicized version of a Greek word. But in Hebrew, it's Mashiach ben David, which literally means anointed son of David. So anointed literally with oil, but that also is how you designate a king. So I've used some of Prothero, the author of our reading, some of his words here and along the left column. So what is the human condition? In a sense, the human condition is one of exile from God, and where we're going, more importantly than the afterlife, is a return to God. And then how do we get there? I like his phrase: tell the story, follow the law, hear and obey. I also would make a little note. I would circle in his image and free will and put a equals mark between them, because it's important to remember that is how we are in his image. We have the right to choose, not that he looks anything like us. God is completely transcendent. Jews won't attempt to even portray God in a picture. Where are we going? To Olam Haba, the world to come. Now, Judaism, I underlined this, Judaism emphasizes observance in this life rather than elaborating on the hereafter. All the stuff about the hereafter is vague, but Judaism is a here and now thing. And while here, it is our duty to repair the world. Tikkun Olam, remember, that would be a good, all of the Hebrew on this sheet would be good Hebrew to deploy in your test answer. Make sure you spell it right and understand what you're writing. How do we get there? We've talked about this. We follow the mitzvah. We live according to the Shema. I would put the commandments here. I would put the commitment. The mitzvah equals halakha, Jewish law. That word literally means to go, to walk. It's something you do. I have made a note here. I think it's good to know there are 613 mitzvot in the Torah. And since there's nowhere else in this sheet to show it, I think it's good to know the three main groups: Orthodox, Conservative, and Reform. The Orthodox, the difference between them is the degree to how they follow the law. Orthodox will literally obey all 613 mitzvot. Reform don't. They simply follow the moral law, the spirit of the mitzvot, and the Conservatives are somewhere kind of in the middle. I would also add some, I don't do this for a lot of religions, but Judaism just is kind of tough to shoehorn exactly into the three-question format. So I've added some information on the back. Let's repeat the three questions. Number one, what is the human condition? God made man in his own image, which equals free will, the point I made a minute ago. It is a situation of covenants made, broken, and remade. This idea of exile and return. Where are we going? Well, and this is information from the last video, what Jews believe. There's sort of three vague stages that Jews believe about the afterlife. Number one, the afterlife of the personal soul. We die and our soul goes somewhere. There is going to be a messianic era in this world, a golden age at the end of time. Now that means different things to different Jews. A more orthodox, politically minded Jew might see this messianic era as, a reflection of the past glory of Israel, and a more reformed Jew would see it rather as just sort of this future vague utopia. And they believe there will be a bodily resurrection at the end of this time, and everyone will live in heaven. Presumably, this free-floating soul be rejoined with the body at the end of this time. Jews believe this to different degrees, but even Reformed Jews believe this, somewhat. How do we get there? So Rabbi Miller came to visit our class once, and he said something that I thought was so important. He said, Jews are not saved by grace, but by following the mitzvot. And this means different things to different Jews. Now, he is a Reform rabbi, so he didn't, he eats bacon, he drives on Sunday, but he follows the mitzvot because he follows the moral law, the spirit of the mitzvot. Now, one last thing. Moses Maimonides, in the last lecture, I talked about his 13 principles that he defined in the 13th century. Sort of a statement of creed, which he felt compelled to do because of the threat of Islam and Christianity. I think that statements 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 10 really reflect what is the human condition. Statements 11, 12, and 13 reflect where are we going, and 6, 7, 8, and 9 reflect how do we get there. It might be good to review that and have some Moses Maimonides. That'd be a great thing to throw in your answer, if it fits. So, this now is your study guide. The test will test your ability to know this information. And if you're not quite sure what the test is asking, you can just vomit out as much of this information as you can. That will lead to a fairly decent result.